Aventuria, the world of the Dark Eye, a land of warriors and magic that has given rise to legendary heroes. Now, in the Aventuria card game, you take on the role of one of those great legends.
Hi everybody, this is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer, and welcome to the North of 60 Gaming channel. As well, my friends at Everything Board Games. Today we are going to look at Aventuria, an adventure card game by Luke, Zach, and Michael Palm. This is a nice little storytelling game with ultimate bad guy fight. So let's go down to the table, have a look at it, and get going. Hi everybody, this is Harry Jacobs and I am the North of 60 Gamer, and just before we get into Aventuria, I just want to add that I was sick. I had just gotten off of surgery, and you can see spots where I'm a little bit out of breath or pause. I didn't know it at the time that I had a post-operative infection, so some of this, what you're seeing, is during that, before I was whisked away and sent back to Edmonton. So I just want to say that this is not usual for me to sound like that, but I was sicker than I had thought I was, and I just want to put that out there for you. Thanks very much for watching. We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you. So here we are down at the table looking at Aventuria, the adventure card game. The publisher was nice enough to send me a brand new copy of the original story. You can see here I have already got a copy, so he didn't have to sell me on actually playing the game. I already like the game. And there's a Kickstarter coming, so we thought we'd revisit it. It's a nice little adventure game. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to run through a few vignettes, and then ultimately there's a bad guy fight. It's not a hard game, and it's fun. If you like a narrative-driven game that leads you to the ultimate bad guy, this is a game for you. So we are not going to go through an unboxing. We're going to see the components in my box. Now, there might be slight differences, because in the original Dark Eye, I believe that they were using cards to track life. In some of the expansions, they got rid of that to dials. So I have dials. So that's about the only difference. So let's go down to the table. So let's go down to the table and take a look. So we have a mat. This is the play mat. This is for the ultimate boss fight. So we'll explain that a little later on. In this game, you can play it in an adventure mode or co-op, and you can play in a dual rules, or you can go person to person, or person versus person. But the adventure rules are where we really want to be at on this. Now you can see everything is sorted. We have a number of, as I said, a number of wheels. And these are going to track your life. You all start, I believe, at 40. Right there, like that. Every character, such as Caroline Calante, has her own deck. So we have lots and lots of decks. And you can see here, I was talking about the using cards for counting life. And that's one of those cards. And we can see we have Merhaban the Harina. Merhaban Alarina. And these are tokens that we can use through the game to get some rerolls here and there. Fleet tokens. We've got some various items, leader actions. We've got lots and lots of different characters. Tons of characters, to tell you the truth. These might be henchmen. There's our henchman. But that's in the box. That is it. So it's a very simplistic game in terms of what the components are. Really, you're going to play cards. Now, if I was going to sort of draw a comparison of the way the game plays, I would almost like to say Marvel Champions, because the notion of using cards to put more cards out. Now, this game plays more like Magic, really. So when you put a card down, upside down, it's like a mana or stamina, and you can put 0, 1, or 2 down every game. And at that point, then you can take an action or play a card if you can afford it. And every turn you're going to do that. It's going to take a few turns in the ultimate bad guy fight to get you to a place where you can defend and attack nicely. So you have to be aware of that at the beginning, that you're going to start out pretty weak. But with that being said, let's talk a little bit about the adventure itself.
For some reason, the undead were concentrating their attacks on Carolyn, trying to drag the half-elf down into their cold grave. "Lend me your aid," the half-elf yelled to his comrades. Though he dodged left and right with phenomenal agility, he still suffered many severe blows, and his padded surcoat hung in tatters. Then he heard Arbosh roar triumphantly. The dwarf took another long draught from his beer stein. "By my forefathers," Arbosh said, "now I am ready." He swung his morning star upwards with great force, and the weapon's 3 steel weights slammed into the first skeleton, shattering it into a cloud of splintered bone and dust. "Arm yourself for battle."
Here we are. This is the short adventure, Saving Sylvia. And as you can see, it's pretty much laid out like most of the stories here. You'll have a narrative and a test, a narrative, a test, one last narrative, and then we're going to go right into the fight. And that is as easy as it gets. Now, I'm not going to spoil it all by reading these for you, and we don't want a 3-hour video. So let's just say that it sets up the current test that we're going to get. Now, the tests come in critical success, critical failure, D20 with a 1, D20 with a 20. A success is where you are less than your test value, equal or less to your test value, and a failure is when you're higher than your test value. So the test values that we see are right here. So you can see body control, craft, knowledge, perception, persuade, stealth, survival, and willpower. And that is Abshach, the son of Arax. And all our characters have that. All our characters have that. Body control, craft. They look like they go from about 8 to 12. In case 14 is her, she's got big knowledge. So, and of course, then we have our ranger. Again, in that 8 to 12 range. Her best feature is survival. Well, that's not survival. Okay, so we'll come along here. We come down here and it says, each hero will make a body control roll. So the body control roll is 10 for our dwarf, 8 for our mage, and 12 for L'Oreal. Treetop Glint. I love that name. That's such a cool name. So what we're going to do is roll. And we have a 13. We have a 16. And a 15. Isn't that wonderful? So basically I failed. Not critically, but I failed on every one of these. Oh, wait a minute. can't really read that. Okay, get rid of that. 9, okay. Sorry, folks, I really couldn't read that D20. 9, 16, 9. I believe he actually wins. Yes, 9. So we've had 2 critical successes. You catch one of the goblins, but he breaks away from your guess, runs away up the ladder and into the street where he vanishes in the mists of Undercity. 1 goblin less for you to fight later. Failure! You are not fast enough, and one of the goblins escapes. For each hero that fails the body control roll, take 1 cowardly goblin from the henchman cards and place it nearby. He will take part in the next combat as an additional opponent. Yay! Well, we have our henchman card somewhere, right here. And all this does is really setting you up for the boss fight. So we have cowardly goblins. Look at that, 2 cowardly goblins. And we'll just put them off to the side because we are going to need them later. So we're now ready to do the second one, and it is a perception roll. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is a 15. I don't know if he's actually going to get that. 12 and 19. Well, perception. Not even close. 12. Yay! Oh, nope. 10. Nope. And perception is 12. And he was like 15. So no. Okay. So we have all failures. Nothing here to affect. So it didn't affect or hurt us. Okay, then we'll just turn the page. Again, we would read the narrative as we go through it, and here's where we're going to start to get into the combat. But for now, it's a knowledge roll. 1 hero will make a knowledge roll. I have a feeling that it's 14. I'm pretty sure 8 and 10. So our wizard, Merhabin, is going to do a perception roll. 18. Of course, she fails. It's no good. You have to hack your way through the wall. In doing so, you obviously lose your element of surprise at the beginning of the following combat. Each hero draws 1 less card. So that sets us up for the big boss fight. And that was as spoilers-free as I can make it. So I'm going to have to take a few minutes and reset what's going on here so that we can put the mat down and get the table ready for the adventure fight, or the ultimate bad guy fight. So here we are. We are ready for the battle. I've gone through our mock story. I did not read everything. You can see we're set up here. So we have our henchmen. So our 2 goblins that got away, our cowardly goblins, are in here, as well as anything that's an orc or pirate. So those are our henchmen. Over here is our timing card. And basically what we're going to do is remove a timer right there every turn. And then when we get to the 5th, 3rd, and 1st tokens left, we're going to draw another one. And then when we get down to nothing, the Kobold leader will have twice as many actions. And we'll talk about those actions in a minute. Here is our action card, or our saving Sylvana. Now, the Kobold is protected by a magical barrier. And you can see the question. So we don't know much about this Kobold, other than he's going to nail us and smack us around like we are clay kittens. However, every turn, we have an opportunity to try to guess his name. And we can either use a craft roll, because we're going to sing, our knowledge roll, because we're really smart and we're going to take a guess, or we're going to persuade him, and we're going to roll a dice. And now we have 9 tokens here, 3 for every player, right along here. Now, there might be some tests, so I've got the test cards here. I only took them out here because there's not a lot of room on my table. That way I can have them handier than me trying to fiddle around here very, very often. Here's a first player marker. Here is our random markers. When we need randomness, like at the start of the turn, to determine who's going to go first. We have our decks. We have our life counter starting at 40. These are a little awkward. I'm not sure I 100% like them. I am about as down as far as I could get, but basically what we're going to do is explain what's going to happen. Every turn, actually, he's going to get, I believe, things to do. 2 things, I think. And then we're going to roll dice, and things are going to happen to us. And we are going to put our henchmen out as well. So we are ready to go. The first thing we're going to do is we have 3 players. That means we're going to have 15 threat points. So what threat points allow us to do is we're going to take our henchmen. Let's give them a good shuffle, including our 2 cowardly goblins that got away on us. And we're going to start pulling them. Dun, 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 dun. So the first henchman is the cowardly goblin. And you can see he has a number of different stats. He has no armor, which is good, easy to get rid of. He can't evade. He really doesn't hurt us too much. And I believe that is his hit points. And we get 3 times that. So you're going to start out with 15 life. But you can see his threat level is only a 1. So he's not very threatening, is he? So this does not have a dependency on the factor, so we're going to take him out. But so far we have 1 out of 15. So let's take our next henchman. Our next henchman is a Hook Joe. He has 15 life. He's a human pirate. Ouch! So we're going to put 15 on him. 5... 10 and we'll just do this for now. 15. So we have 6 out of the 15 that we need. Oh my gosh. We have a orc warrior. He gets 20 points. 5. And we're only at 11 and we are looking for 15. So we're going to have at least 1, maybe 2 more. So we're at a severe disadvantage here. 1 more henchman card. This guy is a 5, so that's going to give us 16, and it's an orc highwayman. 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to want to try to guess this guy's name pretty quickly. We want to be able to get to him. We don't know who's going to go first. Now, we've got our test cards. We've got some D20s over here. We've got some D6s over here. We've got doom counters over here. We've got their life here. We've got their decks here. And then, so what we're going to do, actually, is we're going to start to pick up our decks. And we'll talk more as the rules go. But each of these players are going to take 5 cards, typical of a deck builder. If the draw pile ever runs out, it's out. So there we are. That's his 5 cards. And we'll show you those in a minute. 5 more cards. So this is happening simultaneously now. I mean, I'm by myself, of course, so it's not super simultaneous, but basically everybody now is looking at their decks. They're shuffling them up. They're taking 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the cards are dual purpose. So not only do we have interesting fronts, so we'll just pull these up. As you can see, there's different kinds of cards here. And each of them have a cost. Okay, as you can see, that's a very expensive card, 9. There's some interesting mechanics, like here is a +1. If we can play this, we can get a +1 to our evade, which is always good. And so what we're going to do is we have a chance to mulligan at this point, and we're looking at him at the moment. So let's take a look here. If you back blues, discard this card and reset it to 0. I don't think we need that right away. One. Don't think we're quite ready for that to put back. And I don't think we're that. So we're going to take these 3 cards and put them back and hope for something a little bit better, maybe. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to shuffle the deck back up so that we do that. So we have done our mulligan. Okay, this is his hand right now as it stands. So we have a stunning blow. Choose one talent or advantage. In this case, then, in an adventure, an opponent of your choice has 1 fewer action this turn. Now, you can duel players with this. We have a athletics. That's a good one. It's going to add 1 to our evade. Evade's very important because we evade, we can mitigate damage by half. So in his case, he has a mitigation of 5. Chainmail, pro. That's a good one. Discard to reduce an attack by an additional 3 points. But we can turn it and save it. We can save it for 4, but that's very expensive to get out. We have a buckler, and we have a pro 2. Lots and lots of mitigation here. You may make your opponent re-roll the damage dice. Pro 2. There we are. Protection, I believe that is. We'll look at what pro is in a minute. Okay, we're going to go take a look at our wizard. That would help me go through the deck. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep the Wrath of Elements. I think we'll just put the 1 card back. Okay. So I'll probably speed this up a little bit. But so basically what we're doing now is looking for our mulligans. We're trying to set up our hands because these cards will go down. So let's just say if I wanted to play this, I would need 4 cards down. So think of a Marvel Champions, using cards to power cards. So each turn I'll have the opportunity to put 0, 1, or 2 cards down, and when I have 4 cards, I'll be able to play that, and then I'll be able to tap. So up here it would say like tap an energy, tap this card, and then do the damage. So that is our deck. Now we'll go over to our silver. We have a card, 1. Raise an opponent's attack roll by 5. That would be a good one to keep. Jump to safety. Subtract 5 result of your dodge test. Ooh, look at this. A Flucunius Thunderbolt. It's an attack, 1d6 plus X. And the number of cards can be between 1 and 6. Ooh, that is really nice. And a heavy fall. That's a good one. It's an instant, but boy, we could take care of somebody. I like all of them, but I think we'll put that one back. I like this. We're going to keep that one out. That's an easy one to get out, too. It's a magic attack by the looks of it. And we can attack a magic attack. We can use an armor once and a weapon once. But so if I had a long sword and a dagger, I could have to make a choice here. Okay. Now, I haven't played this in a very long time, so we're going to add 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. We're going to put these back in. Okay. That, my friends, is the setup. So it's taking a little bit long-winded, I know, but this is how it plays. Now this goes faster because remember, I wouldn't be talking to you at the same time. These are our fate. Every time we miss, there's a fate. We have our henchman out. We have our timer. So, when we get down to timer 5, and we're sitting at what timer here? We start at 8, right? So we're going to go, so there's 8, 7, and 6. When those 3 are done, and we're ready to hit the 5th timer, we're going to put another henchman out. That is that. We are ready to go. So the next thing we do, we have our 5 cards. We are going to take our 5 cards and we're going to add 2 more to our cards. So that is, we're going to draw up 2 every turn. There we go. Just like that. And now we are ready to get into the combat.